These are illegal miners being pulled out of the Stilfontein mine on the 3rd of December 2024. And immediately, something seemed off. They looked weak, dehydrated, and injured. It was one of the rescue missions that saw a few Zama Zamas continue to be pulled out. We know everything that is happening with this situation because the media is everywhere all over it. But then they are quiet about the kingpins behind this situation. They are not reporting anything on the owners, the directors, and the Minister of Minerals and Energy has not said anything. Stilfontein was historically a gold mine owned by Glencore, which was later acquired by BHP Billiton. You might recognize this name. BHP Billiton has been a major player in South Africa's economy, driving significant investments, including support for key educational institutions. Stilfontein Mine was subsequently managed by Zama and Jack Mines, a South African mining company. In 2011, Village Main Reef acquired Zama and Jack's primary assets. This acquisition encompassed several significant gold mines, including Basotho, Hartebeestfontein, and Taulacoa, as well as a 25.5% stake in First Uranium. During the acquisition and integration of Zama and Jack Mines into Village Main Reef, several influential figures guided the transition. Bernard Swanepoel played a pivotal role, known for his leadership and oversight during the merger. The company also benefited from the expertise of its board of directors during this period. Notable members included Kevin Wakeford, who assumed the role of chairman of the board following several leadership transitions. Gareth Rees appointed as the lead independent director. Margaret Ndlovu, who served as an independent non-executive director. Paul Smith, who became the executive chairman in 2012. Daniel Watson, who held the position of interim CEO and financial director. I came across an article from the Mail and Guardian about the mine's reopening in 2005 by Zama and Jack's leadership team. During the reopening, then CEO Gordon Miller expressed confidence that all parties were dedicated to fast-tracking the process to resume full-scale operations as quickly as possible. This marked the arrival of new key players in the industry. Roger Kebble, serving as chairperson at the time, initiated the restart by ordering the mills at the mine's metallurgical plant to be switched on. Other notable members involved included Brett Kebble, Henny Buitendag, Gordon Miller, Chris Nissen, Brenda Madumise, David Ashworth, and Lunga Nkwana. These individuals were instrumental in acquiring the mine's assets after its closure in 1991 and its subsequent cycles of reopening, closure, and eventual liquidation in 2005. Today, not a single person from this list can be accounted for. No one has stepped forward to assist the presidency's office, clear their name, or comment on the events of the past few weeks. I have questions, many questions, but no answers. Why wasn't the mine properly sealed when it was closed or abandoned? Which companies were responsible for this oversight? Which firms should have ensured that the sealing was done correctly and in compliance with the law? Some might argue that the shafts were sealed but later reopened by criminals. Even so, shouldn't the previous owners have notified the state? Why haven't the Departments of Minerals and Energy ensured the mine remained secure? And why haven't they taken accountability for this situation? And where is the Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy? Why is he silent? When you think about it, whatever is happening there, it's hard to believe such operations could continue for so long without law enforcement or state authorities being aware. A report published by City Press highlights insights from a mining security expert who claims that one reason illegal mining operations in South Africa continue to flourish is that their masterminds are known to the police. On the West Rand, control is reportedly in the hands of various groups, including South Africans of all races and foreign nationals. In contrast, on the East Rand, these operations are said to be largely managed by white Afrikaners, many of whom were once police officers or maintained strong connections within law enforcement. The security experts stressed that the police are well aware of those responsible, but often profit from these illegal activities. For instance, it's alleged that a black brigadier on the East Rand had a special unit he would deploy whenever Zama Zama kingpins complained of interference. Meanwhile, on the West Rand, there are accounts of officers arresting Zama Zamas without confiscating their gold. Instead, they reportedly called other miners and demanded 5,000 rand to release their colleagues. City Press also reported that in Kuma, near Stilfontein, police officers live in close proximity to the kingpins of the illegal mining operations. According to the report, the police are fully aware of the situation and sometimes even escort the Zama Zamas to their work sites. Currently, the crisis involves hundreds of Zama Zamas trapped in an old Basotho shaft near Stilfontein, refusing to surface because police are waiting for them above ground. Initially, reports suggested there were 4,500 miners trapped, but this figure was later corrected. The situation underground is dire. Miners are dying from extreme heat, exhaustion, and hunger. Community leader Mandla Charles told News 24 that there are likely more bodies still underground. Some Zama Zamas who managed to escape reported that many of their colleagues had already perished from starvation. The trapped miners have described the horrifying conditions, including the sight and stench of decomposing bodies. They have even requested ropes to retrieve more bodies and have made demands for food, medicine, and the protection of their human rights. Minister in the presidency sparked controversy by stating she has no sympathy for the trapped illegal miners.
We're not sending help to criminals. We're going to smoke them out. They will come out. We're not sending help to criminals. Criminals are not to be helped. Criminals are to be persecuted. We didn't send them there. And they didn't go down there for the good benefit or good intentions for the Republic. So we can't help them.
She emphasized that it is not the government's responsibility to retrieve the bodies of criminals, nor should law enforcement officers risk their lives to assist them. This statement has deeply divided public opinion in South Africa. Some argue that the Constitution guarantees rights and protection for everyone, including criminals. Others believe that harsh punishment is justified in this case. The reality is that the South African Freedom Charter and Constitution grant rights and protections to everyone, including those involved in criminal activities. Everyone has the right to access healthcare services, meaning that injured Zama Zamas trapped underground are entitled to medical attention. They also have the right to adequate food and water, which is why humanitarian aid efforts are being made to assist them. Additionally, the Constitution clearly states that no one may be denied emergency medical treatment. This includes individuals with criminal backgrounds. However, it's important to recognize that the Zama Zamas pose a significant and dangerous threat to South Africa. They should be regarded and treated as terrorists. In 2022, for instance, a group of Zama Zamas attacked, robbed, and brutally raped 8 women filming a music video at an abandoned mine in Krugersdorp on the West Rand. Despite many promises and a show of force immediately following these horrific crimes, the police have yet to deliver justice for the victims. Now you wonder, how were Zama Zamas even formed? The simplest answer is that corruption fuels criminal activities in South Africa. The longer answer is that men and teenage boys, often as young as 15, 16, and 17, are lured from neighboring countries like Lesotho, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, with promises of work in South Africa. These young men are enticed with promises of wealth, but they only realize the grim reality once they arrive at the mine. They discover that they are expected to spend their days working underground under harrowing conditions. The illegal miners reportedly work around the clock with no breaks, and only after meeting their daily mining quota are they allowed food or the chance to leave. If they fail to meet their quota, they are forced to work off their debt. If this isn't human trafficking, then it's hard to say what is. There are also reports of mining companies and groups supporting these illegal miners. One such company in the northwest, whose shafts have been inactive for years, is said to still be selling gold. The individuals making profits from this illegal mining industry have become incredibly wealthy, but no one is willing to reveal their identities. There's a general reluctance to come forward with information. The only notable case that stands out involves 3 men from the Free State, whose assets were seized for their involvement in an illegal mining network. Progress Bayeni Mlambo, Leonard Robert Moyo, and Kokonai Sithole were arrested in November last year in Welcome, charged with violations of the Precious Metals Act. Police discovered gold worth 4.5 million rand, cash amounting to 5.5 million rand, and a Toyota FJ Cruiser in Mlambo's possession, all of which were confiscated. However, these individuals are just small players in a much larger network of those benefiting from the illegal mining industry. It's impossible to say for certain how this will all unfold, but it's clear that more powerful figures with strong connections to major players are involved. In such situations, justice is rarely served. After all, this is South Africa, where criminals, particularly those involved in illegal activities, continue to prosper.